Perfect Al is back in the winner's circle. A 4-year-old bay gelded son. A Perfect Spiral out of Delmar by Yankee Land. Leased and trained by Gene Miller. And the winning driver is Brett Boyd. 201-1 for Brett Boyd and Perfect Al in this first division of the CKG Billings Amateur Trot. Here they are for the first. One Noble Streak owned by John Wiley, Dave Hawk. 2 Hidden Affair owned by Thomas Morrow with Don Feaster up. 3 Dominique D owned by Sarah Jane Hatcher with Larry Landon. 4 Go-Go April owned and driven by Scott Ferguson. 5 Look at the Sissy owned by Richard Long with Chip Noble. 6 Magic Nancy owned by Baldwin and Ehrenberg. Greg Grismore drives. 7 is Bambi Sabra owned by Chapman and Chapman, Joe Adamski. 8 is Larry Roberts, Big Nature, Jim Daly drives. And the 9 is Chamomile owned by Whitaker and Welsh, Darrell Whitaker up. Post time is in 6 minutes. Sophomore filly Pacers are lined up in the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Look at the Sissy, urged off the gate. Hidden Affair driving through along the rail. Dominique D comes away in third. Lead lever from the outside is Bambi Sabra. Up close nearest the rail is Noble Streak, and she drives through to be third. Getting away in sixth position is Go-Go April, just in front of Magic Nancy. Then it's Chamomile who's backing off, and Big Nature is last. Racing to head stretch for the first time. Look at the Sissy leads the way. Look at the Sissy from Hidden Affair in second. Bambi Sabra first over on the outside third. Followed next by Noble Streak and Dominique D in 28-1. Pacing in front of the stands for the first time. Look at the Sissy. Hands off to Bambi Sabra, who clears the lead. Hidden Affair comes to the outside third. 2 back Noble Streak is fourth. Dominique D from the inside fifth. Go-Go April sixth. Greg Grismore switches to the outside with Magic Nancy. She's 8 off the pace in seventh. Big Nature follows her in 2.5 to Chamomile, the trailer. Rounding the turn to halftime. Another lead change as Hidden Affair takes over in 57-4. Hidden Affair and Feaster, they've got it a length and a quarter. Bambi Sabra back to second. Noble Streak now comes first up on the outside third. Look at the Sissy. Early leader quickly. Shuffle back, locked in fourth. Dominique D follows cover in fifth. Also the cover trip for Magic Nancy, third over in sixth. Go-Go April, nowhere to go. Up on the outside is Big Nature, and 3.5 lengths back to a struggling Chamomile. They're entering the far turn, and it's Hidden Affair. Hidden Affair has a 2-length advantage on Bambi Sabra. Noble Streak's not doing enough. Dominique D is rallying 3 wide, followed by Look at the Sissy, and Magic Nancy is 4 deep in 128 flat. Moving around at the head of the stretch, it's Hidden Affair with the lead a length and a quarter. Bambi Sabra takes aim on her from second. 2 farther back, Look at the Sissy, third Noble Streak. Magic Nancy still 5 off the lead, inside of 16th. Hidden Affair on top. Bambi Sabra trying to close, but Hidden Affair is going to go on to score. It's Hidden Affair, Bambi Sabra, Magic Nancy third. Back to the winner's circle. First win this season for Hidden Affair, a 3-year-old bay filly by Sandman Hanover out of Noble Bunny by Noble and Sam. By Thomas Morrow of Richwood. Don Feaster trains and drives the winner in 158-3. Trophy in this one being presented by representatives with the EC Factory. Joining us tonight at the races, we welcome them in all of our groups. Here's your rundown. Noble Streak was 6th. Hidden Affair the winner. Dominique D finished 8th. Go-Go April was 7th. Look at the Sissy 4th. Magic Nancy 3rd, Bambi Sabra 2nd, Big Nature 5th, Chamomile 9th. Top to bottom 6-1-8, 7-4-3, 2-5-9. Second race 12 minutes away at 7:24. It's another division of the CKG Billings Amateur Trot. Brings out a field of 9. No Lasix for the 3, TK's Kelsey, in either this start tonight or her previous start. Here they are for the second division of the Billings. 1 is Spartan Hall, owned and driven by Ned Hodkinson. The 2 is Silky Sue, leased and driven by Ruth Haynes. 3 is TK's Kelsey, owned and driven by Terry Milhone. 4 is Lucille Zerv, owned by Irvin Kitchenmaster, with Michael Mitchell. The 5 is Striker Action up at the Homestock Farm with Bernie Boland. 6 is San Nile, under lease to Real Millet with Greg Keidel. 7 is Scootin' Bill, owned and driven by Michael Baker. The 8 is Keystone Stetson, owned by Hammer, Keener, and Norford, Jamie Rucker. And the 9 is Black Casino. He's owned by the Hatfield Stables and driven by Bud Hatfield. Post time is in 8 minutes. And the gate is underway. Trotters and drivers lined up for the second division of the CKG Billings Amateur Trot. And they're off. A pair of breakers. The 6 San Nile is far back. The 7 Scootin' Bill is a little bit closer, but well behind. Moving into the far turn the first time, it's TK's Kelsey and Terry Milhone going out for the lead. Lucille Zerv is up alongside. Just in behind is Spartan Hall third, and going off stride Silky Sue. Keystone Stetson then moves into fourth position, followed next by Striker Action. Black Casino is up alongside, about 7 lengths back to Scootin' Bill, and about a 16th back to San Nile as they trot by the stands for the first time in the opening quarter in 29-1. Trotting past the grandstand, TK's Kelsey on the inside is challenged now by Lucille Zerv and Michael Mitchell on the outside under the wire with 5/8 to go. Gap of 4 is Spartan Hall and Ned Hodkinson race in third. 2 back to Keystone Stetson and Jamie Rucker, the racing in fourth. 2 more to Black Casino and Bud Hatfield. About 7 off the tempo setter in fifth. Another length and a half more to Bernie Boland and Striker Action in sixth. Then 4 lengths farther back, and we come down to Scootin' Bill and Mike Baker in seventh position. 2.5 to Silky Sue and Ruth Haynes. And Greg Keidel and San Nile bring up the rear. They're off a half in 59-2. Trotting midway down the back stretch, it's TK's Kelsey continuing to hang out Lucille Zerv, who's just a neck back in second. Gapped at the rail, Spartan Hall a ground-saving third. Keystone Stetson trying to catch the cover, 3 off the lead in fourth. Another 2 farther back to Black Casino. Striker Action looks to rally with 6 to make up at the 3/4. TK's Kelsey trying to make every pole a winning one in 1:30-3. And TK's Kelsey and Terry Milhone set sail for home with a 1.25 lead. Lucille Zerv begins to tail off. Keystone Stetson up 3 wide. And Spartan Hall looks to power out of the pocket as they come through the stretch. And it's TK's Kelsey, under-urging, leading it by 2.5. Spartan Hall and Ned Hodkinson closing in with Keystone Stetson, Jamie Rucker on the outside. TK's Kelsey is desperate. Spartan Hall is getting up. Spartan Hall and Ned Hodkinson score by a half a length. Keystone Stetson and Jamie Rucker were second. Then it was a photo for show between TK's Kelsey and Terry Milhone and Lucille Zerv and Michael Mitchell. To render a disqualification, the order of finish remains as is, 1-8-4-3. Back to the winner's circle is Spartan Hall, a 6-year-old brown-gelded son of Sierra Cosmos out of Spartina by Joie de Vie. Honors across the board to Ned Hodkinson of Hilliard, Ohio. First win this season for Spartan Hall. Takes a season's mark 201-3 in the second division of tonight's CKG Billings Amateur Trot. Trophy in this one being presented by representatives of Moling and Associates. Welcome to Scioto. $380. In the daily double, 2 and 1. Winning ticket will get you 40. Here they are for race 3. 1 is Stonewall Melissa. She's owned and driven by Mark Winters. The 2 is Fritzy Sunkissed, owned by Fritz and McHenry. Jim Daly up. 3 is Beve Rebo, owned by Melby Ober with Kyle Later. 4 is Pocket Full of Dreams, owned by Burkhold and Baldwin, Greg Rismore. 5, Casey Celia, owned by Rex Bode with Trent Tharps. 6 is Dr. Vinyl, owned by Richard Householder, Dave Hawk in the bike. 7 is Noble Play, owned by Gilmore Rogers and Batchy, Rick Heitman. 8 is Neverfold, owned by Roby and Chafin, Jeff Fout. The 9 is Arizona Jill. She's owned by Gail Potter and driven by Brett Miller. And the 10 is Scratched. Post times in 6 minutes. Super effective pacers are lined up and set to go, and they're off. Going off stride from the outside, the 8, Never Fold. Never Fold is on a break, and now the 7, Noble Play, goes off stride. It's Pocket Full of Dreams going out for the lead. Dr. Vinyl looks to back into the hole second as Noble Play recovers and drives up on the outside third. 2 further back to Stonewall Melissa in fourth. Another 2 more to Fritzy Sunkiss to the inside of Arizona Jill. Next in line, we have Beve Rebo, and then it's Casey Celia. Never Fold is back pacing but trailing the field. Powering into the lead is Noble Play at the quarter in 28-3. Nice save by Noble Play, who takes over the lead, leads it by a half now. Quickly, Arizona Jill up alongside, looks to brush to the front. Pocket Full of Dreams is just in behind. Then we gap out 2 lengths to Dr. Vinyl in fourth. 2 more Stonewall Melissa fifth. Fritzy Sunkiss chased along in sixth position. Then it's Beve Rebo, Never Fold, and going off stride at the tail end, Casey Celia. Over to halftime, it's Brett Miller opening up with Arizona Jill. Arizona Jill has 3 on Noble Play in 58 seconds flat. Along the rail, Pocket Full of Dreams looks to come to the outside now in third. Next in line is Dr. Vinyl fourth as Arizona Jill comes back to her field. 5 lengths farther back, and Stonewall Melissa races in fifth. Beve Rebo underway sixth, but has 8 to make up. And then it's Fritzy Sunkiss, Never Fold, and Casey Celia's last. 5/16 of a mile remaining as they head for the far turn. And Pocket Full of Dreams is trying to wear down Arizona Jill. Dr. Vinyl comes into contention and sweeping up 3 wide, Beve Rebo. 3/4 in 1:29-2. Moving around to head stretch. 4 wide is Beve Rebo. Dr. Vinyl is 3 wide. Relenting between horses, a weary Pocket Full of Dreams. Followed nearest the rail by Arizona Jill. They're off the turn and into the stretch. And from the outside, it's Beve Rebo taking over the lead. Dr. Vinyl is trying to counter from the rail. Gap of 7, and Casey Celia comes in a third. It's Beve Rebo, the nose in front. Dr. Vinyl is fighting back, and Dr. Vinyl gets back up to score. Beve Rebo second, Casey Celia third. Never Fold got up for fourth. Ladies and gentlemen, please note there's a drive. Back to the winner's circle is Beve Rebo, 3-year-old filly by Tavern Lobel out of Peekaboo Star by Nuclear Siren, owned by Melby Ober, trained by Ann Hildebrand. Kyle Leader with the winning drive, 2 minutes and 4/5. And this trophy being presented by representatives with Johnson Controls. Welcome to the races.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are for the 4th race. 3rd and final division of the Billings Trot for 2,500, and number 1 is Executive Macho. Joe Feraldo aboard, looking for 2 in a row. 2 is Sturdy Faith. Ralph Brumbaugh is the trainer and driver. 3 is Our Jake, looking for 2 in a row in the Billings with Larry Farley. 4 is Glasslight. Alan Schwartz aboard. 5 is Cuso and Greg Cadell. Number 6 is Nero's Arrow. Joe Schoaf is the pilot. 7 is Pierre Pan and Jim Duckworth. Number 8 is Keystone Fuhrer, Kelly Rucker aboard. And the 9 is Angel Allen. Tom Williams in the sulky. A field of 9, go postward in just 6 minutes. 6 minutes until Poldo. Then comes Sturdy Faith, Our Jake, Glasslight, Cuso, Narrow Zero. Then comes Pierre Pan, Keystone Fuhrer on the outside. 10-1 long shot, Angel Allen. Field of 9 approaching the gate for the 4th. Fourth race, Billings Trotters straighten away into the back stretch. And there they go. They're off and trotting in Our Jake in the center of the track goes off stride. Narrow Zero now trots up on the outside. And Executive Macho fires off the rail in third. Up on the outside, Keystone Fuhrer looks for a seat in fourth. Glasslight in between trotters is fifth. Sturdy Faith is sixth. Cuso off the gate in seventh. Racing in it's Pierre Pan, and the early trailer is Angel Allen. And it's Joe Allen, narrow zero, shooting along on the front end by the quarter in 29-2. Executive Macho trumps up the inside second. Glass Light follows suit in third. And right there in fourth, it's Keystone Furor. Racing up on the outside, Angel Allen starts to spread his wings from fifth. It's Sturdy Faith locked up in sixth. Moving up on the outside, Pierre Pan is seventh. Cuso is eighth, and Our Jake trails after the break. They were at the quarter in 29-2. They reached the half, 1 minute, 1/5. Moving to the backside, the final time. It's Narrows Arrow on the front end with a 2-length lead. Executive Macho with the tap of the left-handed whip moves up in second. Angel Allen rolls up 3 wide, and Angel Allen has his sight on the leader as they head into the upper turn. Angel Allen a nose and neck, now a length in front, and it's Narrows Arrow trying to fight back in second. Keystone Furor is moving up in third. Executive Macho fourth, and Sturdy Faith begins to shake loose. They round the upper turn and head for home, and Angel Allen is powered to the lead by 2. Narrows Arrow shortening strides in second. Executive Macho up the inside third, but it's all Angel Allen in full flight and got him by 4. On the far outside, Keystone Furor and Sturdy Faith, but it's Angel Allen in front. 2:01 for the mile.
And thanks very much to Brett Boyd for calling tonight's fourth race. And the winner of the fourth race back in the winner's circle is Angel Allen. 4-year-old Bay Ridgeling by Valley Meister out of Rombaway Nicole by Speedy Claude, owned by Thomas Shatterdon of Battle Creek, Michigan, trained by Mark O'Mara. The winning driver is Tom Williams, taking the third division of the CKG Billings Amateur Trot. Trophy in this one being presented by representatives of Ward and Warner Incorporated. Welcome to the races. Here they are for the fifth. One is Game Cisco, owned by Martha Fisher with Kane Kaufman. The 2 is Max Man, owned by Turbulent Air Inc., Jeff Nysonger. 3 is Mad River Bud, owned by Nina and Donald Restorford, Bob Harper up. 4 is Falcon's Last Star, owned by Leonard Buckner with Jeff Fout. 5, Arizona Jackrabbit, is owned by Del Blevins with Greg Grismore. Out of post 6, Magic Silk, owned by Reed Racing with Brett Miller up. 7 is KF Cam, owned by Kaufman and Mogan, Chip Noble. 8 is Cincy Maynard, owned by Tom Price, the driver, Mark Winters. 9, Tsunami, owned by Bob Griffith. Sandy Beatty is at the lines, and the 10 is Lusty Treve, owned by John Borchers with Jim Lewis. Post time for race 5 is in 7 minutes. There they go. And they're off and pacing. Arizona Jackrabbit with speed from the center. Game Cisco is hustled away from the inside and takes the lead. Driving up Cincy Maynard, the far outside third. Magic Silk comes away in fourth as Max Man goes off stride. Lusty Trev into fifth, 8 off the lead. 2 more to Mad River Bud, followed by KF Cam. Then it's Falcon's Last Star, Tsunami, and Max Man is now last. Moving around to head stretch, it's Game Cisco leading at 3/4. Cincy Maynard looks to drop in second at the quarter in 27-3. Passing the stands for the first time along the rail, Arizona Jackrabbit back to third, gap of 2. Magic Silk is racing in fourth. Lusty Trev fifth. Mad River Bud is sixth. KF Cam is seventh. Then 2 back to Falcon's Last Star. Tsunami, distant trailer is Max Man as they race around the clubhouse turn. It's Kane Kaufman and Game Cisco on the lead here. Game Cisco from Cincy Maynard second. Gap of 2, Arizona Jackrabbit third. And there goes Brett Miller and Magic Silk first over on the outside fourth. KF Cam follows cover in fifth. Lusty Trev shuffled sixth. Third over and coming into contention is Falcon's Last Star, followed by Mad River Bud and Tsunami, 57-4 for the half. Midway through the backstretch, it's Game Cisco, a length clear of Magic Silk, who is inching up a closer second. Just in behind Cincy Maynard third. KF Cam gaps cover in fourth. Arizona Jackrabbit drops away at the rail in fifth. Falcon's Last Star is yet to hit his best gear in sixth. He's 5 off the lead in 1:26-4. Moving to head stretch, Game Cisco still a half-length lead. Hasn't shaken off Magic Silk. Cincy Maynard looks to dive down to the inside, followed by KF Cam and Falcon's Last Star. They're in the stretch. It's Game Cisco under a drive, leading it by a length. Here comes Cincy Maynard down the inside, followed by Magic Silk and Falcon's Last Star. Cincy Maynard, Game Cisco, Magic Silk the outside. Cincy Maynard, yes. Then it was Magic Silk second. Game Cisco was third. Season for the sophomore Look Sharp colt. Races for Thomas Price. Trained and driven by Mark Winters, 156-3. That is a lifetime best for Cincy Maynard. Race 6, number 1 is Accorday, owned by Karma Hodson with Ralph Lunsford. The 2 is Valiant Girl. She's owned by Deborah Colburn with Justin Hall. 3, Wild Louie, under lease to Russell Britton with Dave Hawk. 4 is Sox Hanover, races for the T. Cody Trust, driver Jim Shelton. 5, Grand Sidekick, owned by Jerry Grand with Jeff Nysonger. 6, Bearcat Sabres, owned by Brenda Sugg and Dean Davis, Kurt Sugg. 7 is Starfire Action, owned by Raider and Pollock, Kane Kaufman. The 8 horse is CTM.com, owned by Paul Russell with Jeff Fout. That's your field for the 6th race, and post time is in 6 minutes. Gate is rolling. Trotters are lined up and set to go. And they're off. Pointed for the lead is Sox Hanover. Wild Louie just to his inside. Grand Sidekick is taken up sharply as Bearcat Sabra moves up alongside of him. Then we have Valiant Girl, the mare, and she's off stride and taken down to the safety lane as Starfire Action then moves into 5th position. Regaining stride is Valiant Girl, and it's Accorday, and 2 lengths back to CTM.com, the trailer. Bit of a tussle up front. Sox Hanover has Bearcat Sabra to contend with early in 28-4. Passing the stands, it's Bearcat Sabra trotting on to clear off. Sox Hanover contemplating a retake. It's 2 farther back to Wild Louie in 3rd. Gap of 4, Grand Sidekick 4th. 2 back, Starfire Action 5th. Accorday to the outside 6th. Valiant Girl 2nd last. Trailer CTM.com is alongside of her as they round the turn to halftime. It's Sox Hanover back on top. Sox Hanover leads it by a length and a quarter. Bearcat Sabra just in behind. Wild Louie 3rd, followed by Grand Sidekick 4th. Going off stride from 5th, Starfire Action in 57-4. Trotting down the backstretch, Sox Hanover, Wild Louie is up to challenge alongside. Bearcat Sabra 3rd, catching cover, Grand Sidekick the outside 4th. Valiant Girl 3.5 off the lead and trying to advance along the rail, but she'll need racing room. She's 5th now. Accorday is alongside of her, then 2 back to CTM.com, who's being called on for more, and far back to the trailer Starfire Action. At the 3/4, it's Sox Hanover holding off Wild Louie in 128-1. Moving around to head stretch. Sox Hanover leads it by a length and a quarter. Bearcat Sabra looking for a way out as Wild Louie drops back on the outside. Then along the rail, it's Valiant Girl who looks to shoot the gap, and they turn into the stretch. Sox Hanover leads it by a length. Bearcat Sabra closing on the outside. Valiant Girl at the rail. Sox Hanover all out. Bearcat Sabra has him collared. Late trot Valiant Girl. It's Bearcat Sabra, Valiant Girl, Bearcat Sabra. Valiant Girl second, Sox Hanover third. Back to the winner's circle is Bearcat Sabra, game winner in 1:58.3. A 5-year-old chestnut gelded son of Striking Sabra out of Barra by Cummin, owned by Brenda Sugg and Dean Davis of Florida and Ohio. Kurt Sugg, the trainer driver. In the winner's circle, having made the trophy presentation to the Winning Connections representatives with Finley Kohler Interiors. Welcome to Scioto and good luck. 6-2 exacta returns $56.80. The try 6-2-4, $268.80. 3 of 3 in the pick 3, $1,099. On the track, race 7, number 1 is Camnesia, owned by Jeffrey Cole with Brett Miller. The 2 is Max Tudor, owned by Harness and Harness. Jeff Nysonger is up. 3, Look Lorena, is owned by Lois Stovall with Roy Wilson. 4 is Paul's Pretty Woman, owned by Carter and Easter Day, Steve Carter. 5, Sweet Step Susie, is owned by Jane Farion with Bob Harper. The 6 is Tucson Amber, owned by Glenn and Terry Ader with Kyle Ader. 7 is Heart of a Hero, Wiley Lyons Jr. owns, Jack Franklin drives, and the 8 is Shut Up and Drive. She's owned by Kathleen Borchers and driven by Dean Collins. Post time for the 7th race is in just 6 minutes. There they go for the 7th race. And they're off. Trio of leavers, Look Lorena, Paul's Pretty Woman between horses. 3 wide, Tucson Amber is working very hard early on. A gap of 3.5 back to Camnesia, who settles away in 4th, 2 in front of Max Tudor. And then we have Sweet Step Susie, followed by Heart of a Hero. And the early trailer is Shut Up and Drive. Hard used through the opening panel was Tucson Amber. She and Kyle Ader clear the top. Look Lorena, an anxious second. 2 back, Paul's Pretty Woman. Opening quarter, 27-3. Coming past the stands for the first time, it's Tucson Amber making the pace here. Tucson Amber at 3-1 leads it a length and a quarter. Closely tracked by Long Shot Look Lorena in second. Paul's Pretty Woman is third. Gap out to Camnesia fourth. Max Tudor just barely squeezes to the outside. Looks like she might have forced Heart of a Hero up 3 wide, and that one settles back in second over. Then we come down to Sweet Step Susie, and trailing the field in the outer tier is Shut Up and Drive. Over to halftime, Tucson Amber leads them there in 58-2. Off the turn, down the backstretch, Tucson Amber by a length. Paul's Pretty Woman now first over in second. Look Lorena, ground saving third, nose to helmet in the pocket. Max Tudor is second over, 2 off the lead now, racing in fourth. Camnesia locked in fifth. Third over in sixth is Heart of a Hero. Sweet Step Susie is up to her outside, along with Shut Up and Drive. As they hit the 3/4, it's still Tucson Amber leading the way. Paul's Pretty Woman trying to hang tough, but is beginning to retreat. Look Lorena nearest the rail. Max Tudor 3 wide off cover in 1:27-3. Moving around to the head of the stretch, it's Tucson Amber still with the lead. Look Lorena pops out of the pocket. Max Tudor looks to rally from 3 wide, and Camnesia is making headway along the inside. They're in the stretch. And it's Tucson Amber leading the way. Camnesia's flying up the passing lane. Look Lorena the outside. Camnesia, Tucson Amber, Look Lorena at the wire, tight between Tucson Amber and Camnesia with Look Lorena third. Tucson Amber is back to the winner's circle. 2 wins and 4 starts on the season. She scores in a lifetime best 156-2 for owners Glenn and Terry Ader, trainer Brett Ader, and driver Kyle Ader. Trophy in this one being presented by the Gildias. Welcome to Scioto Downs. Here are the trotters for the 8th race. 1 is Hoosier Brad, owned by O'Mara, Williams, and McCluskey. Mark O'Mara drives. The 2 is Bullish Market, owned by Three Horsemen Stables, Jeff Fout. 3 is Let Lisa Come Over, owned by Dean Davis and Scott Davis, Kurt Sugg. 4 is Dr. Casey Curry, owned by Bill Ferris, the driver Brett Miller. 5 is Gal's Lucky Iliad, owned by Gene McKee with Del S. Miller. 6, Willie McGuire, owned by Bob Weeches with Dave Hawk. And the 7 is Pips Gleamer, owned by Dusty Rosa Farm, Jeff Nysonger up. 6 minutes. Eighth race trotting, field lined up in the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. Gal's Lucky Iliad from the inside. Bullish Market comes away in second as Dr. Casey Curry backs off into the 3rd spot. Next in line, we have Willie McGuire, Hoosier Brad, Pips Gleamer. Early trailer is Let Lisa Come Over. Heading for the top of the stretch, and Gal's Lucky Iliad wins the early fight for the lead. Bullish Market lays just in behind, followed by Dr. Casey Curry in 3rd. 2 farther back to Willie McGuire, Hoosier Brad, Pips Gleamer, and Let Lisa Come Over, 28-2 for quarter 1. Trotting past the stands, it's Gal's Lucky Iliad up top. 5-1 shot, Gal's Lucky Iliad from Bullish Market. Right there in the pocket, second. Dr. Casey Curry third. And Dave Hawk and Willie McGuire pull first over in 4th. Hoosier Brad now follows that cover in 5th. Pips Gleamer is 6th, and Let Lisa Come Over went off stride trying to gain from the back of the pack. Over to halftime, it's Gal's Lucky Iliad leading the way. Gal's Lucky Iliad. Outside is Willie McGuire second. Bullish Market third and 58-4. Up on the rim, trying to catch the cover. Hoosier Brad is 3.5 off the lead in 4th. Dr. Casey Curry shuffle back 5th, followed by Pips Gleamer in 6th. And the distant trailer is Let Lisa Come Over. 5/16 of a mile remaining as they head for the far turn. And Willie McGuire has worn down Gal's Lucky Iliad and draws out to lead a length and a quarter. Jammed up 3rd is Bullish Market with nowhere to go. Pips Gleamer is gaining ground, followed by Dr. Casey Curry, 3/4 in 1:27-3. Moving around to head stretch. And here comes Pips Gleamer on the outside to engage Willie McGuire for command. Just in behind, Gal's Lucky Iliad 3rd, Bullish Market 4th, Dr. Casey Curry 5th, trotting through the stretch. Pips Gleamer powers in the lead. Willie McGuire is trying to fight back in 2nd. And then it's Gal's Lucky Iliad, Bullish Market, and Dr. Casey Curry. Pips Gleamer, long shot, wins it by 2. Willie McGuire 2nd, Bullish Market up 3rd. That inquiry is for a possible interference by number 7, Pips Gleamer, against number 3, Let Lisa Come Over in the 2nd quarter. Again, the inquiry sign is up, and it's directed against the winner, Jeff Nysonger, and Pips Gleamer. Please return to the paddock. Is Pips Gleamer, scoring his first victory of the season. He's a 5-year-old bay-gelded son of Arbro Iliad out of KT's Texas Tune by Texas. Owned by the Dusty Rosa Farm of Hicksville, Ohio, trained by Charles Ringer. And the winning driver, Jeff Nysonger, in 1:57-2, lowering his lifetime mark by more than a full second. In the winner's circle, helping make the trophy presentation of the winning connections, representatives with Ohio Equities, Limited Liability Corp, and we welcome them to the races. Here's your rundown for the 8th race. Hoosier Brad was 6th. Bullish Market 3rd. Let Lisa Come Over was 7th. Dr. Casey Curry finished 5th. Gals Lucky Iliad 4th. Willie McGuire 2nd. Pips Gleamer the winner. Top to bottom rundown is 6-3-7. Here they are for the 9th race. 1 is Starro Bingo by Odell Starr with Charlie Smith Jr. The 2 is Barb's Cloud Dancer. He's owned by Jim Duckworth. Greg Grismore drives. 3 is Motzi, owned by Arthur Gillum. Arthur Gillum Jr. is up. 4 is Top Notch Tucson, owned by Annette Horn with Danny Fisher. 5, Beaumont, owned by Robert Grubaugh Jr., Jim Daly. 6, Winsome Winter, owned by William Carruthers with Dave Hawk. 7 is Sam Best of Sam, owned by James Sparks with Sandy Beatty. 8 horse is Sleek Style, owned by LPS Broodmares with Rick Heitman. 9, Slightly Expensive, owned by Weber and Jolliffe, Brett Miller. And off the second tier, the 10 horse Playing in the Shadow is owned by Levan and Levan, Bob Harper. 6 minutes. Condition Pacers kick off the late pick 3. There they go. And they're off. Starro Bingo shows expected early speed. Beaumont pacing on from the center. Then it's Barb's Cloud Dancer up alongside is Top Notch Tucson. Caught 3 wide is Slightly Expensive in 5th position. Playing in the Shadow comes away from the inside 6th. 2 back to Motzi, and then it's Winsome Winter dropping in. Sam Best to Sam, and trailing the field, the slow starter Sleek Style has about 18 lengths to make up at this stage. 27-2 for the opening quarter. Passing the stands for the first time, and it's Beaumont up top. Beaumont 2 clear of Starro Bingo in second. 3 back Barb's Cloud Dancer third, followed by Top Notch Tucson. Took a few bad steps there. Looks a little bit rough racing in 4th position. Slightly Expensive along the rail is 5th. Playing in the Shadow comes to the outside. Looks to pick up the possible cover of Top Notch Tucson as they round the turn on their way to halftime. Then we come down along the rail to Motzi. Next in line is Winsome Winter. Then it's Sleek Style and Sam Best of Sam. And finally going off stride was the 4 Top Notch Tucson. 57-1 for halftime. Off the turn and down the backstretch. Beaumont 3/4 of a length. That's Barb's Cloud Dancer breathing down his neck in second. Starro Bingo just in behind. Slightly Expensive is second over in that top flight. Gap of 3 is Motzi, draws it closer 5th. Playing in the Shadow in striking range now 6th. 2.5 to Winsome Winter is yet to pick it up. Then it's Sleek Style, Sam Best of Sam, and a very ranked top-notch Tucson in 1:26 flat. Trying fractions as they move to head stretch with Beaumont leading the way. Beaumont, Starro Bingo, Slightly Expensive tries to re-rally. Motzi nowhere to go. Playing in the Shadow 6 off the lead, followed by Winsome Winter and Sleek Style. They're in the stretch. And Daly goes to work on Beaumont. Here comes Slightly Expensive closing again. Starro Bingo and Playing in the Shadow. It's Beaumont, Slightly Expensive on the outside. These two hit the wire together, can't split them, with Playing in the Shadow third. Two of them returning the winner's circle. First, the 5 Beaumont, a 5-year-old brown stallion by Life Sign out of Never Home by On the Road Again, owned by Robert Grubaugh Jr. of Salina, Ohio. Roy Murphy Jr. is the winning trainer, and Jim Daly in the bike. Tying that lifetime best of 1:56.3 that he shares with the 9 Slightly Expensive. $10, 2,972.60. Next stepping into the winner's circle is Slightly Expensive, second victory this season. 4-year-old bay-gelded son of expensive scooter out of slightly tarnished by Ralph Hanover. Owned by the partnership of Weber and Jolliffe, trained by Gail Peterman, and driven to victory by Brett Miller. Still trying to figure out how to split up that trophy, but in any case, it was presented by Sonatrol Security Systems. Here they are for the 10th. One is Trojan Spark, owned by Linda Rankin with Dave Rankin up. The 2 is Yeehaw Junction, owned by Three Horsemen Stables, Dave Hawk. Returning to the race is the 3 Supreme Begonia, races for Sherald and Marion Haynes. Sherald Haynes, the driver. 4 is Super Bandit, owned by Jerry Folk and Connie Armstrong, Bob Harper in the bike. 5, Speedy Dancer, owned by John Lee, Brett Miller. 6, Bannockburn, owned by William Donovan, the driver, Del S. Miller. Number 7 is Route 309, owned by Harold Breidenbach with Jim Daly, and the 8 horse is Village Girl, racing for the Dusty Rosa Farm, the driver, Jeff Nysager. 7 minutes. Trotters are lined up and set to go. And they're off. Center field lever is Speedy Dancer. Supreme Begonia left along with him. Gap of 3. Trojan Spark comes away in 3rd outside Bannockburn. Looks to drop in 4th. Next in line is Yeehaw Junction 5th. Gap of 2 more to Super Bandit, Route 309, and Village Girl is last. Trotting to head stretch for the first time. On the lead, it's Speedy Dancer and Brett Miller. Just in behind is Supreme Begonia, and rushing up from 3 wide is Yeehaw Junction. Bannockburn is between horses as they trot by the quarter in 28 4/5. Very unlikely stretch scramble for the lead. It's Bannockburn to the rail. Yeehaw Junction drives on from alongside, and Speedy Dancer is quickly relegated to 3rd. Supreme Begonia 4th. Trojan Spark looks to tip out 5th, and then it's Super Bandit, Route 309, and Village Girl as they roll over to the halfway mile station. Up top, leading the way, it's Yeehaw Junction. Yeehaw Junction, Bannockburn 2nd, Speedy Dancer 3rd. There goes Supreme Begonia, first over on the outside, 4th and a half, goes in 58 2. Along the rails, Super Bandit is hemmed in 5th. Following cover now, Trojan Spark is 6th. 2 farther back to Route 309, and the 8 Village Girl made a break. Midway through the backstretch, heading for the far turn. It's Yeehaw Junction, a length and a quarter clear. Bannockburn tracks that one from just in behind. Supreme Begonia making gradual progress on the outside 3rd, followed by Speedy Dancer. Trojan Spark tries to pick it up, and then it's Super Bandit in Route 309 in 1:28 4. Bound for the head of the stretch. Yeehaw Junction still leads the way. Bannockburn with clearance to move out. Supreme Begonia is dropping back between horses, followed by Speedy Dancer and Trojan Spark from way out wide. They're in the stretch. On the inside, it's Yeehaw Junction. Bannockburn is going to try to wear him down in the final 16th. Yeehaw Junction, Bannockburn on the outside. Bannockburn is going to just get there. Then it was Yeehaw Junction 2nd and Trojan Spark 3rd. The winner's circle is number 6, Bannockburn, the 2nd win this season for the 6-year-old bay gelding by Copter Lobel out of Trip Kit by Neville E. Diamond, owned by William Donovan of Bellingham, Mass. Winning trainer is Jim Arledge Jr. The winning driver is Del S. Miller. In the winner's circle, helping to make the trophy presentation to the winning connections, representatives with Aetna Building Maintenance. Number 1 is Lasting Jeff, under lease to Eddie Blair. Jim Daly drives. There's the 2, Shadow Traditional by David Pike with Jeff Nysager. 3 is Papa Toto by Eldon Combs, Eric Tharps at the reins. 4 is Gypsy's Double Deal owned by Rodney Brown with Tony Rose. 5 is Kim's Bad Boy owned by William Silcott, Kane Kaufman. 6 Tomba La Bamba owned by Tammy Ackley, Bob Harper. 7 is Highland Pockets owned by William Carruthers, Dave Hawk. The 8 is Mark Said Go owned by Harry Altop, Greg Grismore. 9 KB's Bird owned by Jeff Brewer with Del S. Miller. And the 10 is Greg's Hoot owned by Gary Massajuski with Rick Heitman. There's the 1 Lasting Jeff. Post time, 7 minutes. Lined up for race 11. There they go. And they're off in the nightcap. Gypsy's Double Deal and Mark Set Go leave as a team, opening up 2 on Papa Toto, who drives up in a 3rd. Shadow Tradition is 4th. Greg's Hoot settles in a 5th position, just in front of Lasting Jeff. And then it's Kim's Bad Boy, trailing Trio, Tomba La Bamba, Highland Pockets. KB's Bird is last. Moving to head stretch for the first time, it's Mark Set Go. Mark Set Go to the outside of Gypsy's Double Deal, Papa Toto, and up close 3rd and 28-1. Then it's a gap of 3 lengths farther back. Shadow Tradition is racing in 4th. Greg's Hoot is 5th. Lasting Jeff is brought to the outside 6th, 4 in front of Kim's Bad Boy, who is 3 clear of Tomba La Bamba. Highland Pockets and KB's Bird trails about 20 off the lead. It's Mark Set Go with the rail and the lead as they race around the turn, but it soon looks to be overtaken by Gypsy's Double Deal on the outside, who's working hard to clear the top. Papa Toto is jammed up 3rd. Lasting Jeff rolls with cover in 4th, and Gypsy's Double Deal could not clear off from Mark Set Go. 58-1. Racing down the backstretch. Mark Set Go, Gypsy's Double Deal. Lasting Jeff is thus caught 3 wide and driving on. Papa Toto just in behind sits the pocket in 4th. Shadow Tradition starts to rally from 5th. Greg's Hoot still 3 off the pace, an unhurried 6th. Another 2 more to Kim's Bad Boy. Highland Pockets, Tomba La Bamba, gapped out trailing KB's Bird in 128-1. Rounding the turn to head stretch. And it's Gypsy's Double Deal. Gypsy's Double Deal, very weary, but takes over the lead. Shadow Tradition is closing in. Mark Said Go is back to 3rd, followed by Papa Toto in 4th as they make their way into the stretch. And it's Gypsy's Double Deal under an all-out drive. Shadow Tradition coming to him on the outside. Late pace, Tomba La Bamba inside of 16th. Gypsy's Double Deal, Shadow Tradition, Tomba La Bamba. Gypsy's Double Deal scores. Finishing 2nd, Tomba La Bamba, Shadow Tradition 3rd, tight for 4th between Greg's Hoot and Kim's Bad Boy. Gypsy's Double Deal squeezes out the win, 4th of the season. Races for Rodney Brown, trainer Steve Moore, and catch drivers Tony Rose, 159-2 for Gypsy's Double Deal.